Welcome to class today. I believe you're great. Somebody requested that we do a video on balancing of chemical reactions. So today we are going to be looking at how to balance chemical reaction. So before we continue, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do well to hit the subscribe button now and subscribe to our channel. And if you have done that, remember to hit the notification bell so you could be notified when we post a new content. Thank you. Welcome. Now, when we talk about balancing of chemical equation, it's important to understand that when you have a chemical reaction occurring, there are two sides of the equation for that reaction. You have the reactant side, you have the product side. And when we say we want to balance an equation, it's just when, as if you have a seesaw, all right, and then you have somebody that is weighing 80 kilograms sitting on this side, and you have somebody that is weighing 20 kilograms sitting on the other side. You will see that it will not be balanced. It will tilt towards the side with the person that has a higher weight. So if you want to have a balance, if you want the seesaw to be balanced, okay, then you will have some more weight added to that part where you have 20. And when you have 80, it can be balanced. So that is what happens when we talk about balancing a chemical equation. So let's see these examples. Number one, if you are asked to balance HCl plus sodium hydroxide. So before you balance equation, it's important to understand the mechanism of reaction, how a compound reacts with another compound, and then what will be the product, what kind of product will be formed when a chemical compound reacts with another compound. So looking at this is an acid, hydrochloric acid, and this is a base, sodium hydroxide. So hydrochloric acid, an acid is a substance that ionizes in water to liberate hydrogen gas, or is a substance that we ionize to give you hydrogen gas. We want to balance the equation on the board, HCl plus sodium hydroxide. Now, one of the types of reactions, chemical reactions that exist is neutralization reaction. A neutralization reaction is a reaction in which you have an acid reacting with a base to give you salt and water only as the product. And you remember I told you there are two sides of the reaction, or these two sides of the equation of a chemical reaction. You have the reactant side and the product side. So on the reactant side, you're going to have an acid and a base, and you have salt and water on the product side. So HCl is an acid, hydrochloric acid, sodium hydroxide is a base, and that is, so definitely our product is meant to be salt and water. According to the definition of an acid is a substance that we ionize or that we split into ions to give you hydrogen ion as its only positive ion. So that means anytime you have an acid, it will always ionize to give you H plus, and then the second part is chlorine ion. So that is ionized. A base is a substance that when it ionizes, it gives hydroxide ion as its only negative ion. So if you ionize this base, you have something like this, sodium plus OH minus. So this is what a base will always give to us. So yeah, it will always give hydroxide ion. So the like poles repel or like poles attract. So if on like poles attract, the positive, this negative is going to be attracted to this positive, and this positive will be attracted to this negative. That is the first thing to note. The second thing to note is that when two ions are connected together to form a compound, they exchange their oxidation number. So the oxidation number of sodium here is 1 plus 1. Oxidation number of chlorine here is 1. So they got to exchange. So you have Na1Cl1. So the product will be NaCl plus. Then H plus OH will give us H2O. So this is the first stage of the reaction. So this side before this arrow is called the reactant side, while this side after this arrow is called the product side. Alright. So the next thing to do is to balance the equation. Before you start balancing, ensure that you have gotten the product correctly. Because if you do not get the product correctly, even when you try to balance the equation, your equation will not be balanced. You will just keep changing and changing figures and values, and you will still not get a balanced equation. Right. Now, having done that, let us now try to balance the equation. So you can balance by inspection. You inspect on this side, how many hydrogen do we have on this side, how many chlorine, check for it. The same on this side. So let's have a table to check. So you have elements, you have the reactant side, and you have the product side. What are the elements here? You have hydrogen, chlorine, sodium, oxygen, and hydrogen. Alright, those are the reacting elements. But I always encourage that you start the balancing from the metal that you have in the reaction, not with hydrogen. When you start with hydrogen in this situation, it could be a bit complicated. So there is this saying that I coined from the Bible that you can always use to remind yourself when you balance. You know, in the Bible there is a passage that says, the first shall be the last. The first shall be the last. So here, the first element on the periodic table is hydrogen. Okay? So hydrogen, the first, shall be the last when you are balancing the equation. So hydrogen comes last, and then you have oxygen second to the last. So you start with the metal, and then you go to the non-metal, and then you go to oxygen, and then you go to hydrogen. So the metal on the board is sodium. So let's start with sodium. Then the non-metal is chlorine. Then you have oxygen. Then you have hydrogen. So let's try to balance this equation. On this reactant side, how many sodium do we have? This is 1. On this side, we also have 1. Chlorine, we have 1 on this side. Chlorine, we have 1 here. Oxygen, here we have 1. Oxygen, here we have 1. Hydrogen, here we have 1, and 1, that is 2. And hydrogen, here we have 2. So they are all the same. So this equation is balanced. Let's look at another example, number 2. Now, number 2, you are asked to balance H2SO4, react it with sodium hydroxide. What is going to be the product? So you have to get the product and balance it. So this is an acid, this is a base. Remember, when an acid reacts with a base, salt and water will be the result. So here, this is an acid, this is a base, this is salt. Sodium chloride is your common salt, your table salt. This is water. Okay? So let's try to solve this. This is an acid. If you ionize this acid, it's going to ionize to give you H plus and SO4 2 minus. H plus and SO4 2 minus. If you ionize this base, it's going to give you Na plus OH minus. So now this negative and positive ion, they are going to react together. But what is the oxidation number of sodium here? It's plus 1. Alright? This plus 1 here. What's the oxidation number of sulfate here? Is minus 2. It's 2. You remember I said they will exchange their oxidation number. So if they exchange, Now, to find your product, N we carry 2, so you have Na2SO4, so that is Na2S, then SO4 1. So you don't need to add 1 there, that is sodium tetraoxosulfate 6, plus, then this and this will connect together, and you have H2O. So this is the product, you've written it correctly. The next thing to do is to try to balance the equation. So let's see element, the reactant side, and the product side. What are the elements here? We have sodium, we have sulfur, we have oxygen, we have hydrogen. So on this side, how many sodium do we have here? 1. Sodium here we have 2. Sulfur here we have 1. Sulfur here we have 1. Oxygen here we have 4, and we have 1 here, that makes it 4 plus 1, 5. Oxygen here we have 4 plus 1, 5. And then hydrogen here we have 2 plus 1, 3. On this side we have 2. So can you see this is not balanced, this is balanced, this is balanced, this is not balanced. So what can we do to make this value become the same? That is what balancing of equation is about. Now, when you inspect and you try to alter the values, there are certain values you do not alter. It is a rule that guides balancing of equation. You don't tamper with the subscript. What are the subscripts? You see these small values, these numbers that are hanging below each element, you don't joke with them, you don't alter. So you won't say because you want to balance an equation, you now change it to H2SO4 to H3SO5. No. Because it will alter the compound. The compound itself is H2SO4, which is tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. Alright? Okay. So H2SO4 is tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. It has to remain like that. The only part you can alter is the number that comes before, alright, which is called the superscript. You cannot change the subscript, okay? So here, I have 1 here, I can decide to change it and put 2. I can decide to put 3, put 6, as the case may be. So let's try to check. Sodium is 1 here, sodium is 2 here. So what can I do? I can decide to put 2 here. By the time I put 2 on this side, my sodium on this side becomes 2, sodium on this side becomes 2. So I have 2, 2. And then sulfur here is 1, sulfur here is still 1. On this side, oxygen is 4, and with these 2, it becomes 6. 4 plus 2, 6. So here, my oxygen is now 6. And on this side, I have 4 here plus 1, 5. What can I do? I can put 2 here. So oxygen here is 4. And I have 2 oxygen here, that makes it 6. So I can change this to 6, 6, 6. And let's check for the hydrogen. Hydrogen here is 2 plus 2, 4. And for this side, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. So can you see this is now balanced, this is correct, equal. So this equation is now balanced. 1 mole of H2SO4 plus 2 moles of sodium hydroxide gives you 1 mole of sodium tetraoxosulfate 6 and 2 moles of H2O, water. That is a balanced equation. Alright, so this question is H2SO4 plus CaOH2, that is tetraoxosulfate 6 acid reacting with calcium hydroxide, which is a base. What is our product going to look like? Welcome back. Let's try to answer this question. So this is an acid. When you ionize it, it will give you H plus SO4 2 minus. Okay, when you ionize this, it will give you Ca2 plus OH minus. Now the original owner of these 2 is actually calcium. It's the oxidation number of calcium. Remember, I told you 2 ions react, they exchange the oxidation number. So calcium exchange with 1 here, OH exchange with the 2 here. That's why you have OH2. So originally it's for calcium. So now this is positive and negative. So these 2 ions will react together. The oxidation number of calcium is plus 2. SO4 is minus 2. So 2, 2. Can any value go in these 2? 2 can go in it. So 2 into 1, 2 into 1. So I have SO4 1, Ca1. So my product is going to be CaSO4. I know some of you would have written Ca2SO4 2 or something like this. This is wrong. This is wrong. The two values, 2 we cancel out 2. So you have 1, 1. So it's Ca1SO4 1 plus. And then the water will be formed. So this is the correct product. And from here you can now tabulate to see if your equation is correct. The elements, the reactant side, and the product side. What are the elements? We have calcium, sulfur, oxygen, and hydrogen. On this side, calcium is 1, sulfur is 1, oxygen is 4 plus 2, 6, hydrogen is 2 plus 2, 4. On this side, calcium is 1, sulfur is 1, oxygen is 4 plus 1, 5, hydrogen is 2. Can you see? These are balanced, this and this are not balanced. So what do? Let us try to alter. Remember we said you cannot alter this subscript. You cannot alter this subscript. So let's see, what can we do? Calcium is 1, 1, sulfur here is 1, sulfur here is 1. Oxygen on this side is 6. Look at it, 4 plus 2, 6. So what can I do to make oxygen here become 6? I have 4 on this side. If I place 2 here, my oxygen becomes 2 plus 4, 6. So now my oxygen is 6, 6. And then my hydrogen becomes 2 here, that is 4. And 2 multiplied by 2, that is 4. And you see, both are now correct, and this is a balanced equation. I want to believe that you understood today's class. If you do, please go to the comment section. Let us know how you feel about the class. You can also ask your questions if you have one. And do remember to subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed to this channel. And also remember to hit the notification bell so you could get notified anytime we post new content. Thank you for being a part of today's class. My name is Coach Paul, and what we do on this channel, we give you classes on physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. We give you some tips, some very short methods of answering questions, saving you time in your exams. Alright, and I would like you to be a part of this channel by subscribing and sharing with your friends. Thank you very much. See you in the next class. Bye for now.